It's being touted as a potential game changer in the fight against COVID-19, with the pharmaceutical company Merck announcing last week that its antiviral pill, Molnupiravir, reduces the risk of hospitalization or death by 50%. The Biden administration has already purchased 1.7 million courses of the experimental drug, although it could be months before federal regulators approve it for emergency use. But my next guest says the FDA does not need to wait that long to start saving lives. Dr. Marty Makary is a professor of health policy at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health and a Fox News medical contributor. Dr. Makary, great to see you again. Just summarize quickly, why is this such a potential good move on COVID?
Well, Paul, it's a game changer. No one who received this medication died. It had the highest level evidence, what we call a randomized controlled, placebo-controlled trial. So it's passed the formal tests, and now it's just sitting in this regulatory quagmire. It's sitting in a purgatory. Ironically, we've got it on the shelf and people dying. So if ever there was an official test of the right to try concept, this is it right now. And things can be done to get this right now into people and to save lives.
All right, but Merck is applying now for emergency use authorization already, which is a more rapid approval than the normal process. On what grounds would legal grounds, ethical grounds, would the FDA approve it now immediately?
So there's an expanded access protocol for compassionate use. We've seen it triggered before. It was activated for convalescent plasma before the official EUA was granted, and it was used for monoclonal antibodies, for example, when the president and other elected officials got sick with COVID before those Regeneron therapies were approved. So we can do this. It's just right now we've got a process that's got a lot of red tape and a passive group of stakeholders. Merck has not indicated interest in applying for an extended access protocol. You need doctors to put that protocol together, and the FDA is being passive and being a bystander. And this is a tragedy because, remember, this could have been approved 6 months ago. The whole reason that it's approved, that it's received this level of attention now this late in the game, is that there was a long delay when BARDA did not invest in this. Actually, Rick Bright and others were very anti-therapeutics at the time and didn't want to invest more money in the drug, as we now know from people at HHS who have come out and said this could have been here 6 months ago. It was developed last year at Emory University, and it's an amazing drug.
Now, when you say BARDA, what is that? What do you mean by BARDA?
BARDA is the group within HHS that funded Operation Warp Speed. They identify new promising therapies and they invest in it.
Okay, so the problem here, I mean, yeah, if you happen to get COVID, you want to have a good therapy, right? So you want to ask for monoclonal antibodies if you can. The president had it. President Trump worked. We hear a lot of stories about it working. But you can't get it necessarily because it's in short supply. And the administration is rationing it to states for that reason. So this pill would really fill that gap and lead to another potential life-saving therapy. Could it be that the administration is afraid that if you allow this to be approved, it will deter people from being vaccinated, and their number one goal is vaccination?
That's a very reasonable concern, and we've actually seen people out there say, look, I'm not going to get vaccinated because of Regeneron or some therapy that they put a lot of faith in. So it's a very fine line. The country does not do nuance during COVID, and we've got to send a strong message that vaccinations are the best way to save lives. But if people do get sick, here's an effective therapy. We can be honest about the data. And the frustrating thing right now, Paul, is that we've got people dying where we know there's an effective pill, and a simple 5-day course reduces mortality way more than Regeneron's therapy or any other therapy that's ever been studied, but we can't give it to them. We need to get our act together to get this out there.
Well, what other alternatives